say, not run. Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
It's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation.
With an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great.
Oleksandr Usyk offered a calm yet pointed response to Floyd Mayweather's remarks, stressing that boxing is, at its core, a sport for gentlemen, far removed from the raw aggression of street fighting. Usyk underlined that real champions don't rely solely on bravado or endless talk. Instead, they prove their worth where it truly matters, inside the ring. For Usyk, discipline, respect, and in-ring performance define a fighter's greatness, not loud declarations or avoidance tactics.
Listen, boxing, it's sport and the gentleman. It's not a street fight. It's a boxing. It's a boxing. It's a boxing. Say it again.
Do you think he was being dirty during the whole fight?
I don't have idea. I have no idea. Maybe.
In a stark comparison drawn by analysts, Oleksandr Usyk is being increasingly seen as the antithesis of Floyd Mayweather in terms of personality and demeanor. Observers have noted Usyk's striking humility, even amid his mounting achievements, portraying a man grounded by values rather than ego. While Mayweather often presents himself as the sport's ultimate figure, Usyk continues to show reverence for boxing and those who came before him. His character, free from arrogance, sets him apart as someone whose greatness is accentuated by humility, not inflated by self-glorification.
One of the best of all time. I know a lot of people are kind of probably going to hear me say that and say, you're going too far, you're this, that, because I've seen that straight away. As soon as Usyk did that, he's 2-time undisputed heavyweight, 1-time cruiserweight, 3-time undisputed. His resume, yes, look, at heavyweight, it's a lot of rematches. Just the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's not just, okay, he could have 10 world... Deontay Wilder has 10 world title defenses.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury are the only ones you really have any kind of weight to them. Usyk is taking on the perceived either number 1 or number 2 in these defenses.
Yeah.
Fury perceived number 1. AJ at the time 1. Dubois number 2. He's taking like, right, who's the next in line? Right, I'm fighting him.
Yeah.
That's the way he's doing it.
And he's doing it in a way in which is so beautiful to watch.
Derek Chisora has repeatedly sung the praises of Oleksandr Usyk, particularly focusing on the Ukrainian's elite mindset and unmatched boxing skill. Chisora described Usyk as a mentally formidable, focused, and highly disciplined athlete who prepares and fights with an almost monastic intensity. Chisora even humorously remarked that beating Usyk would require someone to be sick in the head, stressing how frustrating and difficult it is to box him. He applauded Usyk's fluid movement, sharp intelligence, and calm presence under pressure, dubbing him a true master technician in the ring. According to Chisora, while Usyk may seem easygoing outside the ring, once the bell rings, he transforms into an unstoppable, surgical force.
Listen, what I'm saying is this. To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Well, to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple of months ago,
yeah,
I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, I'll just go to sleep. Some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, imagine you're in your house in Barna and Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then remember, so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side because he's looking to go to the other side. Mate, can you do us a favor? Can you stop beating us up? No.
In another moment of admiration, Derek Chisora likened Oleksandr Usyk to none other than Muhammad Ali, calling him the Ali of this era. Chisora marveled at Usyk's dazzling footwork, impeccable timing, and elevated ring IQ, especially for someone competing in the heavyweight division. He pointed out how rare it is for a heavyweight to move with such grace and efficiency. Rather than relying on brute force, Usyk outthinks and outmaneuvers his adversaries. Chisora saw parallels between Ali's showmanship and intelligence and Usyk's elegant, fluid style. He described watching Usyk as witnessing pure poetry in motion, elevating modern heavyweight boxing with the same finesse Ali once brought to the sport.
Everybody gets it wrong. You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? You can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, forget good, he's amazing. Yeah, he's great, he's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit where he's due. Yeah, he is that guy.
Eddie Hearn, one of boxing's most well-known promoters, joined the chorus of praise, emphasizing that Oleksandr Usyk isn't just a world-class fighter, he's a once-in-a-generation talent. Hearn, having worked closely with some of the sport's greatest athletes, highlighted how rare Usyk's combination of speed, timing, intelligence, and calmness truly is. The promoter pointed out Usyk's seamless evolution from cruiserweight to heavyweight is nothing short of revolutionary. Despite facing bigger and stronger opponents, Usyk maintained his finesse and composure, capturing the attention and admiration of boxing aficionados worldwide. Hearn's remarks reflect how deeply Usyk has redefined the expectations of what a modern heavyweight can and should be.
Just, you're talking about one of the great generational. I watched the first 2 rounds. Dubois looked really dangerous. Came out, backed him up, and then Usyk just decided, I can't allow him to back me up, so I'm going to go on the front foot and box aggressive here. And he knocked him spark out. Unbelievable. Just a true generational.
After yet another dominant performance, Oleksandr Usyk has rocketed into the historical upper echelon of boxing. Analysts now boldly rank him as the 4th greatest fighter in the sport's long and storied history, a spot seldom awarded to an active competitor. This recognition is not simply due to his win-loss record, but rather the sheer quality of his opponents, the decisive manner of his victories, and the flawless consistency he's demonstrated. Usyk's seamless transition across weight classes, coupled with his fearless approach to taking on top-tier fighters in their own backyards, speaks volumes. The argument for his placement among boxing's all-time elite is not fanfare, it's firmly supported by data, results, and legacy.
Cheers. Oleksandr is the 4th greatest fighter on my personal all-time list.
Wow.
It's number 4. He's only behind Ali.
Oh, on your all-time list?
All time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only behind Floyd, Ali, and Manny. So, I'm really high on Oleksandr.
Oleksandr Usyk's impact stretches far beyond championship belts. He embodies technical brilliance and strategic superiority. Outside the ring, he's soft-spoken and composed, but once the bell sounds, his fighting instincts activate with laser-like precision. Unlike many fighters chasing headlines and social media clout, Usyk never resorts to trash talk or over-the-top antics. He simply allows his in-ring excellence to do the talking. His quiet demeanor conceals a burning determination, and it's that very contrast, modesty outside, ferocity inside, that has made him a unique and commanding figure in boxing today.
The WBO, Frank Warner very close, Joseph Parker is obviously a Queensberry fighter, so there could be potential that they do what they did with this fight, what they did with the Dubois fight. It also means as well that, and maybe this is why, potentially it's because Riyadh season shows from November onwards, and I doubt we'll see Oleksandr Usyk in the ring this year because it's only July, but he's only fought, and I would imagine Usyk is going to be one of these 6 to 8 month type of guys. That's the way he's been over the last 2 years. So you're looking probably February next year at the earliest when he finally fights again. So for me, it's like, right, well, that will be after the Riyadh and Ring Magazine's pay-per-views end, as in they're not going to be doing pay-per-view anymore. Maybe they look at that fight and think, Usyk Parker, it's a fight that, with the greatest respect, and Oleksandr Usyk is a very big name, it maybe does need that pay-per-view wall behind it in order to facilitate the purses that they could potentially forking out for it. So maybe that's why Riyadh season won't do it. Now, the Zone obviously have just not ruling out pay-per-view, they're still going.
Usyk's career resume reads like a masterclass in boxing greatness. He's methodically dismantled champions and rising threats alike, adding to his legend with every step. His victory over Daniel Dubois was a prime example. Dubois, known for his brute strength and size, seemed like a legitimate threat, yet Usyk neutralized him with surgical precision and strategy. Throughout, Usyk never let arrogance seep in. Even as the world begins to call him one of the greatest, he remains quietly confident, never proclaiming himself superior. In a sport often ruled by theatrics and bravado, Usyk's humble dominance stands in refreshing contrast, a throwback to purer values in boxing.
It was sort of broken up in different directions. Even I wasn't sure, because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, you know, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. You know, Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age and whatnot. You know, so you know, you could get where all of a sudden, you know, it's not there on the night. So. And you know, you had
and heavyweights takes 1 second, one split second, you're off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Dubois to add to that second. You know, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But you know, Usyk, you know, flawless performance technically. You know, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs, making things uncomfortable for Dubois rhythm-wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he slides the weak side, slides that weak side. This was different.
I think with Dubois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag in that you got to kind of bully the bully, you know. And Dubois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because he started backing him up. He started putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself, and Dubois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Dubois. I don't know, but
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walks right by Usyk's celebration as if he didn't just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali. Remember, he walks right to his corner.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you could have got out. You waited to 10, and then
he was a beaten man.
You waited to 10, and then not only you get up, you don't even have the presence of mind to realize, like, I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
He was a beaten man before the first night.
The conversation surrounding Usyk's greatness sometimes drifts into uncertainty due to his age. One speaker admitted to having doubts, drawing parallels to how Muhammad Ali suddenly lost to Leon Spinks at a similar stage in his career. Boxing, especially at heavyweight, can turn in a split second. Add in a dangerous opponent like Dubois, who possesses that menacing, bully-like aggression, and the unpredictability multiplies. But Usyk turned in a flawless technical performance, using angles, weak side steps, and rhythmic disruptions to keep Dubois off balance. Unlike past fights where Usyk circled away, here he stood his ground, bullied the bully, and broke Dubois psychologically. He applied pressure, backed him up, and shattered his confidence. Dubois couldn't recover. His awkward strength wasn't enough. He went down, waited out the count, and when he got up at 10, it was too late. His dazed walk past Usyk's celebration revealed a fighter already broken long before the final blow.
He tried to jab, he tried to throw that right hand, and he landed that right hand a couple of times, by the way. He got Oleksandr Usyk in the corner, and he was trying to work, but ultimately, he's in there with an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great since boxing began. Since boxing began, people. Understand what we're watching here. We're not watching a generational great. We're watching an all-time great. That's what Daniel Dubois was in there with. There is a discussion in my brain right now as I'm talking to you about where Oleksandr Usyk is when it comes to the best heavyweights of all time. Like, in my head right now, I'm thinking, who beats him?
Commentators reviewing the fight noted that while Dubois landed a few right hands and even tried pressing Usyk against the ropes, he was ultimately outclassed. They stressed that Usyk is not merely a generational great, he's an all-time great. Generational labels suggest dominance over a decade or two, but Usyk's mastery spans the entirety of boxing's history. He belongs in the conversation with the absolute best the sport has ever seen. In fact, the debate now circles around where exactly Usyk stands among legends like Muhammad Ali. Some argue he may have even surpassed Floyd Mayweather, not in showmanship or record, but in sheer skill and the quality of opponents he's faced. Unlike Mayweather, whose reputation partly relied on marketing and strategic matchups, Usyk's greatness is built purely on risk, heart, and unmatched ring ability.
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of Usyk's performance, where he ranks on the all-time list. I know, you know, everybody's big into their nostalgia, but remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era of fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, you know, man, it's hard to pick against Ali being a GOAT.
Ben Davidson, one of the most respected trainers in boxing, added his expert voice to the growing list of those recognizing Usyk's place in history. Davidson pointed out how rare it is to see someone become undisputed in both the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, a feat almost no one accomplishes. That kind of versatility showcases Usyk's ability to adapt, overcome, and dominate in vastly different scenarios. Davidson's praise carries extra weight because he approaches boxing with a deep technical lens. For him, Usyk isn't just a fan favorite, he's a once-in-a-lifetime talent who has transcended the expectations of his era.
Makes it obviously another thing for you, but
really a good time for me to talk about that sort of thing. So,
besides just how good is Oleksandr Usyk? We've seen him now come into the heavyweight division, fight a Derek Chisora, fight Anthony Joshua twice, fight Tyson Fury twice, and he's the undisputed heavyweight. No, he was until obviously the belt let go. But what do you make of him as a fighter? Just sum him up, special fighter.
Yeah, he's put himself in the mix to be. He's put himself in the mix as one of the greatest heavyweights that's ever been. So, undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, amazing.
Usyk's rise to the top was anything but smooth or safe. Unlike many modern fighters who curate their careers by picking easy opponents or waiting for the perfect fight, Usyk actively chased danger. He entered enemy territory time and time again, seeking out undefeated champions and local favorites. His willingness to risk it all for the sake of greatness is one of his most defining traits. In a generation of record protectors, Usyk chose to build his legacy through fire. That relentless hunger for challenge has earned him admiration even from critics. His belief that true greatness is forged through adversity shapes every chapter of his incredible journey.
I'm sorry. I can't help it, man. I fucking love this. Honestly, I fucking love this game.
He's missed it! It's over! It's over! Fucking impossible time!
Fuck me. I'm sorry for going on like a lunatic, right? But it was unbelievable. And it's funny how this fight all came about, right? The controversy in the last fight, which for me was never controversial. It was a low blow, simple as that. And I don't think we've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk ever look for an easy way to win. In fact, I think of all the fighters on planet Earth, he is the one who takes the hardest road to win. There's no tune-up fights for Oleksandr Usyk. It's the biggest fight in a heavier weight than he should even be fighting at, and he makes life harder for himself, not easier. And I think he has proven his character time and time again. But yet he was accused of not being, you know, a real Christian because he was a cheat. He was accused of deserving an Oscar because he was a play actor and robbing Daniel Dubois of what should have rightfully been his, which was a world title. And after the Tyson Fury fight, Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring and called him out, and Oleksandr Usyk immediately turns to Turki Al-Sheikh and says, Mr. Excellency, make the fight. He had no problem in setting this up, and immediately you kind of think he was in the middle of talking about his, you know, his father. I think at the time it was an emotional moment. That's a time where when you've accomplished what he's done, you deserve respect, and I think he was disrespected there, and I think he took that personally, in the words of Michael Jordan. Now in the first round, Oleksandr Usyk did exactly what he needed to do to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois coming in with a load of confidence, wanting to be the aggressor, wanting to be the dominant bull that he was against Anthony.
Trainer Dave Caldwell offered insights into the technical side of Usyk's dominance. He pointed out how most heavyweights rely on explosive power bursts, while Usyk operates with a sustained, punishing rhythm. Usyk's body shots, pace control, and unrelenting pressure wear opponents down in a way that most can't counter. His accuracy and work rate force fighters to react constantly, never allowing them a moment to reset or recover. According to Caldwell, it's this sustained mastery that makes Usyk so hard to outthink, outwork, or outlast in the ring.
Pace, and you just still can't go with it. It takes, you know, it does have an effect. But what I'm trying to say is, Usyk's work to the body, the volume of body punches. I'd like to see the stats on body punching. be it straights, be it a jab, be it backhands, whatever. Because Usyk's volume of bodywork is what I thought was the difference in the fight. His lead hand activity was probably the best it's been since he's been at heavyweight, maybe. I thought he took away, you know, we were all talking about the Fury right uppercut going into the fight because he had a lot of success. We were all talking about what Tyson's going to do. You know, I said Usyk's clever. His people, they're going to look at that and see what they can do better.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi described Usyk's latest showing as nothing less than a technical masterclass. He admired Usyk's foot placement, his calculated angles, and the way he delivered damage without ever exposing himself. Throughout the fight, Usyk remained balanced, fluid, and always a step ahead. Malignaggi praised how Usyk made complex maneuvers look effortless, showing his superior ring IQ. Every movement had purpose, every punch was part of a larger strategy.
Wow, and the rematch stops him early. Was it 4 or 5? I don't even. I'm so caught up in the moment. I don't even know which round it was. It was 4 or 5, but man, it was in the first half of the fight. What a performance by Oleksandr Usyk, and a lot to discuss here, guys. A lot to break down here. First off, you know, Dubois much more successful in the first fight than the second fight. Was the wet ring? Did the wet ring have anything to do with it? I saw in the post-fight interview, Dubois was asked about why he couldn't land his jab. What do you guys think? Was obviously Usyk's gonna make some adjustments. I think the adjustments are gonna be made in rematches. But did the wet ring? Because I thought the wet ring had a big part to do with why Usyk had some trouble in that first fight. And you know, a wet ring hurts footwork guys more. I was a footwork guy. I've worked out sometimes in wet rings. It's frustrating. I've actually thrown temper tantrums in gyms over rings being too wet. So you know, I mean, back in the day, not now. But what I'm saying is, you know, to fight in a wet ring, that had to have some effect on Usyk and his footwork, because he's a footwork guy. And tonight, you just saw his footwork was stupendous, Mike.
According to boxing expert Rus, Usyk stepped into the ring carrying an unspoken chip on his shoulder. Despite all his accomplishments, some parts of the boxing world, particularly British media, continued to question or diminish his legacy. That quiet sense of injustice fueled Usyk's performance. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to silence every doubter. With surgical precision and fierce determination, he delivered a statement win that screamed legacy. In doing so, Usyk not only defended his titles but also demanded the world recognize him as one of the sport's truly elite.
I think he went out there with bad intentions, didn't he? I think he was on a mission to prove that, you know, 38 isn't old yet. And I was talking to some other guys, including Richie Woodall, and saying that, you know, like, he's gotten better. If you look at his last 3 fights, the first Fury fight, second Fury fight, this one, each one has gotten better, you know, more dominating each time. So, you know, age is a number, I guess. When you're in the gym all the time, it takes a long time to age.
When we spoke on Thursday, I could tell you were genuinely confident, but did you believe it could be so early and so conclusive?
No, I'd be lying to you if I said that, you know. I mean, no, I thought it could be dominating. I thought he was doing the things that I think Dubois did, what I expected him to do, and Usyk did what I expected him to do. You know, he controlled, moved, waited, but then he started landing hard.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more boxing breakdowns, legendary insights, and career-defining moments. Until next time.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.